And welcome everybody to Discover Possibility series, where we like to give you guys perspective to show you what is possible. And today's special guest is somebody that I've actually found truly inspiring, that I met on a live through a mutual friend. And I've been kind of stalking him a little bit just to get him on the channel so I can get some more inspiration and share his story with everybody. Now, he's a coach, he's a inspirational speaker, and he is also a veteran. So without further ado, I would like to welcome everybody to Tony Taylor.
Thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. It means a lot.
Yeah, definitely, Tony. Like I said, I've seen you on one of our mutual friends' lives, and your story is truly inspiring. But what I like to always start out with is people want to know, who is Tony Taylor?
Your friend. And that's what I've been to many pretty much my whole life, man, is that person that you need to listen to. Not that you need to listen to, but that person that if you just need somebody to listen to you, I've always been that friend. So and that's what I tell people, reach out to me. I'm a good speaker, but I think I'm an even better listener as well. So that's what I would say. I'm your friend. I'm no public. I don't have like a public persona or anything like that. My phone number is all over the place. And what I like to do is, man, I just like to inspire people. I like to inspire people to be their great self, because we all got that greatness inside of us. We're just looking for it. So that's me in a nutshell. Nothing about me and everything about everybody else.
Now, yeah, definitely. I've seen that on a lot of your posts and everything. And that's what I like about you, is you like to just get up close and personal with people and help them out and inspire them to inspire change. What about you, though, Tony himself? What is your background? Now, I know you've had a lot. You're a veteran, and were you a professional boxer at one point as well, too?
Yes, I was. I was a professional boxer. I actually, and the who I am, and that's like, I've done a lot of stuff, man. I'm only 38 years old. I talk to people, and they're like, "You did what? You did what?" And sometimes I catch them kind of, "Wait, I don't believe that you did that. How could you do all of this stuff in this life?" But man, I've been this 38 years on this planet, man. I've been searching for the question of who am I? What am I? What am I supposed to be doing in this life? And I've done some amazing things, but I've always had this gut feeling that the things that I was doing, it wasn't what I needed to be doing for the rest of my life. Say, for instance, joining the Marine Corps. Oh my God, it was an amazing experience. I joined the Marine Corps at 17, had to wait until I was 18 to leave. And, all of my buddies were, walking across the stage, and man, I'm at recruit training in San Diego, California, getting yelled at. I've worked as, after I got out of the military, I worked for the Department of Defense, fire department, which is a job that, an amazing job. Oh my God, it was an amazing job. Most kids, that's what they want to be when they grow up: firefighter, police, cop, but for me, I was a firefighter. But and I loved helping people, and the things that I would get in trouble for, right? And I was a model firefighter, but I would get in trouble because we would go on calls, and my captain would be like, "Tony, man, do you ever shut up? Why are you outside talking to those kids? We got to go. There's another call. Let's get back to dinner. Let's do what we're doing initially." And I'm just like, man, this is what I love to do. I love giving classes. I love, not just helping people, but I get something from that too, man. It makes me feel so good to see people succeed, to see people beat their obstacles, to see people just like eradicate their freaking obstacles, man. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel really good to see people living out their dreams.
Yeah, most definitely. And I myself, I truly inspire and like doing that myself, and seeing people ignite that change in their lives. And that is one of the biggest things. And I know for you, like you've you said you've changed into a bunch of different things that you've wanted to be. Where is this like curiosity and then being able to follow up with it? What has really driven you to be like, you know what, that's something I'm really interested in. I should just go ahead and go do it.
Well, I think for me, growing up where I grew up, I'm from Gary, Indiana, and Gary was once this like hotbed of anything that was successful. They were known for their steel, and there was a decline in that area. So I grew up during the time of decline. I grew up during the time of suffering. Most of my friends, they lived in public housing. My mom, right? My mom, in order for her to, have a job to put food on the table, we were considered middle class, but my mom had to go all the way to Chicago to get the opportunity. So I respected the fact that, she was willing to do everything in her power and more to put food on the table, to provide for me. And I saw her seizing those moments. I saw her taking advantage of those opportunities. And, here I am in this world, and, I've been told that I can't do so many things. Oh my God, I've been told pretty much everything that I've ever done. I've been told, okay, the odds are against you. And for me, it's just, okay, I want to do it. I find it interesting. I'm going to do it. And there's nothing that's going to stop me from doing it, right? Nothing that's going to stop me except for, legal, right? Moral, that kind of stuff. But, you tell me I can't do it. And I know this sounds cliche. You tell me I can't do it. I'm not going to prove to you that I can do it. I'm going to prove to myself that I can do it, especially if it's something that I want. But I think with follow through, it has to be something that you truly care about, something that it can't be something that, oh man, it would be cool to one day figure out how to fly planes, right?
Yeah.
It would be cool, but okay, there's a lot of different steps and there's a lot of different processes that you have to go through, right? In order to even know how to start the plane up, right? It takes hours of practice. And that's one thing that I try to tell people is anything that you care about, do the research, dive yourself into it. And after you start doing it, if you figure out, hey, this wasn't for me, it's not a waste of time. It's you building yourself up to be the ultimate person, the ultimate you. That's what it's about. And I never had a problem with saying, okay, this isn't what I thought that it was going to be. Okay, I learned my lesson, God, what did I learn from this? Okay, I receive it. Okay, I'm going to take what I learned from this position or from this phase in my life, and I'm going to carry it on to something else.
Yeah, definitely. Now, what would you say if somebody, because I know, like, even for myself, like, I think some people can over prepare and then not actually take any action. Mm-hmm. What would you say to that? How much prep work do you think they need to take?
I would say definitely anything that you're going to do, right? You want to do your research. And you don't want to overthink. That's one thing that used to get in my way is I would overthink something. I would say, okay, I got this interview tomorrow. What am I going to wear? What am I going to talk about? What am I, you know what I mean? I would do like all of this prep work and it would just literally take the fun out of it. Right. So what I do now, like when in regards to, doing presentations, classes, or, even interviews like this, I make sure that I have everything set up. Right. And when it's time to go, I'm ready to go, but I'm not overthinking it so much that I'm thinking myself out of it. Because if you and I, we give ourselves enough time to think about a situation, we can easily, it's so easy to talk our way out of something than it is to talk our way into something. So I just jump.
Whenever you're interested in something, huh? I've noticed I do that myself.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a military thing, because I'm a veteran myself, and I don't know if that's a military thing or or if that's just your upbringing, right? Is seeing that change, like you said, from your mom, and then actually just going after, realizing, I guess, life in itself it has an expiration on it, right? So you try to get the most out of life.
Oh yeah, man. And I grew up I grew up with an insanely amount of strong women around me, strong men too. But in my family, the women, they run the family. And I saw them do so many things, master's degrees, freaking PhDs, you know, like owning their own businesses and just doing so much like good in this world. Like it just inspires me. And I've always used, you know, the successes of other people to kind of propel me, right? And that's how I feel. I feel like I stand, like really stand on the shoulders of the people that are doing it right now, the people that have came way before me. And I learn, and I understand that is never too late. And I think that is from, you know, growing up and always feeling like I had something to prove. But what I would do is I would have this something to prove. I would prove it to other people. And I think that's where we go wrong sometimes, is we waste so much time proving ourselves to other people when we should take the time to invest in ourselves and prove to ourselves that we're worthy, because there's so many different times and so many different spaces where we have the imposter syndrome, and, you know, we feel like that we shouldn't be on a certain stage or a certain platform, and it holds us back. It holds us back so much. It held me back for years, you know, me not understanding how powerful my voice is. I used to always listen and hear, you know, and I really believe that we all have a unique voice, and all of our voices should be heard. But I didn't realize how powerful my voice was. And I think that's important. I think that it's important to actually look at yourself in the mirror, and not only just look at the faults, but look at the pros. Look at the pros in yourself and reflect on that.
Yeah, most definitely. I agree with that, especially trying to realize you have value, because I've ran across a lot of people that, you know, they don't feel like they bring value, and it's trying to get that out of somebody. And that's what I like about what you do with your coaching and inspiring people, is to try to pull that out of somebody, and which I find to be a little tough, but ultimately, you know, the person has to be willing to change, right?
Right. And that's all with the whole inspire. And that's why I love that word, is because just to see the process of, you know, one individual, to see them go from not believing in themselves. And this started probably when I was I know when I was in the Marine Corps, just seeing that private show up, and, you know, he don't believe in himself, and he or she, and you could just tell, you could see it a mile away. But to see the maturation of that person, to see that person grow into a great leader is such, oh my God, it's such an amazing feeling. And it almost, you know, as a leader or a mentor, it almost give you like this euphoric feeling to see, you know, those that come after you, you know, bloom and blossom. And there's so many different people that, you know, I've mentored, not even just in the military, but mentored, you know, once they got out. And now, you know, I find myself calling them and asking them, hey, I need some advice on this. Like, you're the subject matter expert. I need some advice. And they're like, what? You need some advice from me? Like, absolutely. That's what this is about. This is about, you know, lifting each other up. And I mean, I really believe in that. I really believe in, you know, humbling yourself to not only, you know, give information, you know, to different people, but to be able to receive information is such a blessing.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I know we just talked about this off camera, but so you essentially left corporate America. I watched a video on this. That's why I bring this up. But you said, I know in one of the videos I'd watched on YouTube, you were mentioning the fact that you were kind of fed up with corporate America. You wanted to go out on your own. Can you kind of relay that story and what you were feeling through that moment?
Yeah. So through, you know, so from being in the military, you understand that when you're in the military, the natural cycle of things is to get promoted. And no matter what you're doing, you go in there as a private, And in the next couple of months, they're looking at you like, okay, it's time for you to be a private first class. And so that's been my mentality, right? In the military to get promoted. Out of the military, that was still my mindset to get promoted. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to climb that corporate ladder, and I did it. I climbed the corporate ladder. I worked my butt off for years. I'm talking about bringing my my backpack home, working into 9 and 10 o'clock at night, sometimes midnight, going back to work and working, and just basically giving the better years of my life to somebody else. To somebody else. And just even thinking about that right now, man, it just makes me feel it's like it's wasted time, but then it's not wasted time because I learned some valuable skills on the way. But when I got to the place that I had been working so hard for, I was wanting this feeling of accomplishment. And that's what I was chasing this whole time, this feeling of accomplishment. So I got to that spot, and I realized that the journey was what I was in love with. It was the journey, not the point to where I feel like, okay, this is when I get to this spot, I'm going to be successful. I was in love with the journey. I was in love with the chase. I was in love with the whole process. That's what I loved, was the process. And I'm just like, I get to that point. I remember sitting at my desk. I talked to my wife about this frequent, it got to a point where I'm just like, I go to work and I'm just like, oh my God, Sunday morning, man, I hated Sunday morning. A lot of people, and once I started talking about this, I started realizing that there's a lot of like vice presidents, presidents, and CEOs. They're feeling the same thing that I'm feeling, right? Sunday morning, you're just like, oh, I gotta go to work tomorrow, right? And then you go and you do the whole thing, and you start looking forward to your weekend. And I didn't want that anymore. And I remember sitting at my desk and just saying to one of my friends, is it so bad that I really wish I can get fired right now? It's like, well, obviously they're never going to fire you because like you're killing yourself for this company. That's literally what she said. It sounds like you're killing yourself. They're not going to get rid of you. And I just remember having a conversation with my wife. That day I packed up my desk and I came home and I talked to my wife, and I just said, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. And there was that moment, because I knew that moment was coming. And I don't advise anyone to just make split decisions like that. I don't advise it. I believe in having faith, but I believe that you have to work towards whatever goal you have. You can't just jump off the cliff. And because that's not what I did at all. I made sure I had money saved up. I made sure that, my family was going to be taken care of. But I left that day and I knew that I wasn't going to come back. I knew that I wasn't fulfilling my life's destiny. I was going to work and I was making a whole lot of money for my company, every company that I work for, making a whole lot of money for them, making a whole lot of money for myself and for my family. But that I wasn't happy. So I made the decision to go into coaching and speaking full time. I had already been doing it for years. And for years, I would wake up with that feeling working in corporate America. But for the first time ever, once I started living in my purpose and knowing that I have arrived to where I'm supposed to do, which is even harder than anything I've ever done in my life. Sunday mornings are a lot different for me. Monday mornings are a lot different for me. I find myself still working late, but there's a purpose. And I know that I'm making a difference in people's lives, and the emails that I get, that's what keeps me going, man. I get so many different emails from individuals that they're saying that just from one video, one thing that I said that maybe I thought was insignificant at the time, it made a big impact and it just ignited something in somebody. Like, those are the moments that I live for. Those are the moments that's why I'm here. I'm here to make a difference in not just my life, not just my family's life, but but everybody's life. And to me, that's what living is. That's what living living and being the embodiment of inspiration. Inspiration to me is that, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I would 100% agree with that. Now, do you feel like speaking, do you feel like that's where you make the most impact? Is that why you got into speaking?
Yeah. So I would notice that I would give these briefs, right, at work, and I would see the faces, right? I would see the faces, because the way that I speak is not like any other speaker. I'm not going out there. I'm not using a bunch of, big words, and I'm not trying to confuse you. I'm trying to talk to you. I'm trying almost like a father to a son or to a daughter, right? Or just like a really close friend. But I would see the faces and I would get the feedback afterwards, and I would see the tears, and I'm hugging with people that have just heard me speak, hugging and kissing and crying and just going through that. And yes, I feel like, that makes a big difference. And I feel like that audience, it's the audience, sometimes it's hundreds, it's thousands, it could be one, but I feel like that make a difference, because we all have those moments, and there's not anybody on this planet that can say that they don't have these moments where they don't believe in themselves. And oh my God, the feeling of having somebody else not just sugarcoat it, but having somebody else tell you, not only do you have what it takes, and you don't really need me, right? Because I'm going to show you what's inside of you, and the things that are inside of you that you don't even realize that's inside of you, the things that you're capable of, is about to blow your mind. I'm not about to blow your mind. I'm about to show you what you can do. And that's what, when I'm coaching somebody, when I'm speaking, it has nothing to do with me and everything to do with that person. And like, I have this deal where I always say, I'm not a guru. People would always say, oh, you're the subject matter. No. I'm not a guru. Like, you're the guru over your own life. And that's what I do. And I think that is impactful, because I can tell you all day about the fancy cars that I used to drive. I can tell you the big house. I can tell you about everything, all these fancy books that I've written, that I've read, not written, but that I've read. What is that going to do for you? That's not going to do anything for you. What's going to make a difference in your life is for you to be able to look in the mirror and recognize and realize the greatness that's inside of you and the great things that you're capable of doing.
Yeah, most definitely. I think everybody has that value. It's just getting it out of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But to close this out, I got a couple closing questions for you that I think can really help people. One being, what do you think really holds people back from igniting change in their life?
Themselves. It's fear. It's fear. And that's what I think is a big catalyst for a lot of people. I think that it's fear that holds us back. Am I not good enough? What happens if I fail? What if I'm ugly? What if, I sound too uneducated to be on camera? What if it's always those fears? And I think that's what happens. Like, that's why we hold ourselves back, is because we're afraid. And the moment that we realize that, yes, we will fail in our life. We will fail in our life. We're going to fail a bunch of times in our life. But the moment that we realize that, yes, we fall, but that doesn't make us a failure. The moment that we realize that what matters is that we keep getting up and that we keep going. What matters is that we stay in the fight. And that's what I think is the difference. And I think that's what holds people back from being able to ignite something amazing in their life. Like, it's just believing in yourself, 100% believing in yourself. And normally, I feel like the reason a lot of people don't believe in themselves is because of the way that they grew up. Maybe they didn't have people around them, not only challenging them, but reinstilling the fact that you are capable of greatness. You are capable of doing amazing things. And I think if I didn't have that inside of me, I definitely wouldn't, if I didn't get that instilled in me, I definitely wouldn't be able to push that out right now. So I think that it's important because there's a lot of adults, young adults, children that don't get the message of you can do it. I know it sounds easy, but that's a message. Like just to be able to hear my wife, right? When I started this journey of speaking, to hear my wife say, you know what, honey, I believe in you. And not only do I believe in you, but I believe in your message. Oh my God. Okay. I'm waking up 2 hours earlier because not only do I believe in myself, but I got a whole tribe that believes in me. And that's what I want to be for everyone else. I want to be part of that tribe, right? I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I want to tell you what I'm looking at. And what I'm looking at, especially in you, my man, greatness. I'm looking at greatness and I love it. And I think we all need to hear that. We all need to hear that, especially right now.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. Now more than ever, I would definitely agree with that. The next question I have for you is, what is the worst piece of advice you were ever given?
I got a lot of man, I got to think about that one because I've gotten a lot of advice, and a wise man, I always say that, a wise man, but I say that like he's like an old guy, like living in the mountains or something. But one of my best friends, Ernest Benson, he was my Marine Corps recruiter. He said, you know what? Sometimes advice is your worst vice. Right? Advice is your worst vice. And I live by that. And the subject that he and I were talking about was, I was getting ready to go to the Marine Corps. I was 17 years old. I was a dropout and I didn't even realize that I was a dropout, right? I just had stopped going to classes. I forgot what classes I was in, right? I'm telling you, man, my mom and I, we went to not an orientation, but where you sit down and they tell you what your grades are. And me and my mom were sitting across from my teacher, and she's like, "So how's Anthony doing?" He goes, I guess this is my ROTC class. I guess he's doing fine. I haven't seen him, but I guess he's doing all right. And so that's where I was at, man. I hadn't been to class in forever, and there's no way that I was lost. And I got this idea to go to the Marine Corps. I had a baby on the way. I'm lost in life. And for whatever reason, man, I had family members telling me that it was not a good idea. I had friends telling me it wasn't a good idea. Friends, their parents telling me that it wasn't a good idea. And I didn't listen to them. Because they were living in fear. And they were imposing that fear on me. They were imposing that fear on me 100%. I know that they were. And I didn't listen to it. And it changed my life. I joined the Marine Corps. And had I not have joined the Marine Corps, I would not be talking with you today. I 100% would not be talking to you today. I mean, it raised me up in so many ways that, man, I can't even count them. And yeah, I mean, pretty much everything that I've ever done in my life, I've always had some people telling me that I can't do it. I've always had it. And it's pushed me to want to do more. But I would definitely say that was probably the worst advice that I had ever received, or I didn't receive it, that was ever said to me.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, once you prove to yourself that you can do it, then you kind of look for that next challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, okay, well, I can't do that. And it's more like, I guess you kind of play against yourself in that way. So you continue to push yourself, and which essentially changes, right? Where you go out and you seek out these other different challenges. You're like, well, I don't think I could do that, so I'm going to do it, right?
Right.
But ultimately, my closing question for you is, what do you want people to take away from this interview?
But I know, right? And it's kind of been the theme, right, of this whole conversation is one thing that I would want to tell you, the listener, and anybody, is you can do it. You can do it. Not only can you do it, but if you start doing it, you're going to do it well. There's going to be so many obstacles that's going to be put in front of you. There's going to be so many people that's going to tell you that you're incapable. I had those people in my life. I had a counselor in my life that tell me that not only was I not going to graduate, but I was going to be nothing. She literally said that. She said that in front of my whole graduating class, that I was going to be nothing. And I believed her. I believed her. And she was right. She was right until I stopped believing her. And that's one thing that I want to tell the people. I want to tell everybody that what the words that someone else is saying, don't let it have power over your life. You don't have to receive it. Your life is your life for a reason. Live your life. Live your life.
Yeah, most definitely. That's a great place to leave off. Now, Tony, I want to thank you so much for coming on the channel and sharing your story, getting to know Tony a little bit better. And how can people reach and get a hold of you?
So I am all over social media, and basically LinkedIn. I just started Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Pretty much, you type in Tony Taylor Inspires. You can follow me there on those different platforms. You can go to my website, www.tonytaylorinspires.com. You can check it out, some of the different content that I have. There's also a link to my YouTube page on my website as well. But if you want to go to my YouTube page, Tony Taylor Inspires, and I love having subscriptions, or I love when other people subscribe, because that means that more people are listening. And that's one thing that I want to do. You know, please follow me, not because I care about followers, but follow me because I care about you, and I want to follow you. I want to follow you, and I want to help lead you on your journey, whatever journey that may be. I want to, follow you. I want to follow you. I want to help you. I want you to help me, right? I want us to basically collab together, no matter what. Yeah, I'm your friend, Tony.
Most definitely. We'll actually leave all that information down in the description below so you guys can get in contact with Tony. And Tony, I want to thank you so much for coming on the channel. It's much appreciated. And thank you so much for those viewers out there watching. Until next time, guys, we'll see you later.
All right. Bye. That was good, man. I like your question.